Hey everybody, welcome back to the Guitar Cast. Today's guest, Spencer. How are you, Spence?
Hi, I'm good. How are you, Andy?
Pretty good. Spencer and I have been friends for a long time now, and made some music before in the past. We met working at the Village. There's been a few Village-related guests on here so far. But tell us a little bit about you. Where are you from, and how'd you get into music?
Well, all my life, I've loved music since I was a little girl. I started singing just from I can't even remember since my first memory. I feel like is hearing Katie Lang singing Jingle Bell Rock on the Pee Wee Herman Christmas.
I remember you telling me you were like obsessed with Katie Lang.
Obsessed with Katie Lang, as you know, also Rufus. I feel like that's like my first memory is hearing her sing, and she's such a powerhouse. And I just fell in love. I told people my name was Katie Lang when I was like 5. People would be like, "What's your name, honey?" And I'd say Katie Lang. But I grew up in Malibu, and I grew up Decker Canyon. I grew up in this little trailer up Decker.
Cool.
We had like horses and pigs. And
sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was very cool. And then when I was 11, we moved to Santa Cruz. And so I was up there through junior high and high school, and then moved back down to LA, Santa Monica area. That's where my whole kind of huge side of my family's from, about 9 years ago. So been back here ever since, yeah.
Cool. And I remember you did a lot of your writing with the guitar, right? So what made you start picking up the guitar? Was it just through singing and songwriting?
Yeah, when I was 14, my mom introduced me to, maybe I was 13. She took us to the Red Vic to see Don't Look Back, that Bob Dylan documentary. Yeah. And absolutely fell in love with Bob Dylan. And my mom one day, brought her guitar into my room and was like, "This is really easy, Spence. I know I can teach you a few chords." And I really fell in love with just singing Bob Dylan songs. And then when I was 19... someone said, "Have you ever written songs?" And I said, "No, but I have a journal I write in." And they said, "Well, read me some things." And I'd kind of written some poetry. And that day we wrote a song with lyrics that I wrote. And then the next day I just immediately fell in love with writing songs. And then the next day I thought, I'm going to try and do this on my own with the 5 chords that I know on the guitar. And came to find that it was really easy to write songs for me.
Cool.
Yeah, so.
Cool. And years ago, when I was sort of figuring out how to produce and how to engineer, we did probably a few songs, just like DIY style. And maybe I'll play a little clip or something.
Oh my God, I would love
one
that.
Of those.
I would love that. People love those songs.
Yeah.
My mom still asks me about that. She's
Cool.
she thinks of me. She goes, "Oh my God, Andy, you did Little Things."
Yeah. I remember putting a lot of effort into those, because we did it all, I think at my apartment. And that was in the prime where I was sort of starting to wrap my head around how to record guitars and voice, and what better perfect project than to have you and do some of your original songs. So I'll play a couple of those, just a little snippets of some of those. But anyway, so and you have still been writing, right? And are you making an album?
Yeah, so we definitely, that's what we're working on is right now, I just released my first single called Used by 12817, and we released that last week, and we're in the process now of recording my next single. But we are also in the process of definitely recording an album.
Cool.
And, having those singles on the album. But that's kind of how people do things, I guess, these days, is just release a couple singles.
Yeah.
And then, which I love. Kind of gets it out faster.
Yeah, it does seem like that's... And with the internet being the main medium, it seems like that's more... It's just more fitting because people are... I think more inclined to click on a song, listen to a song than a whole album.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I feel like an album's more for the industry.
Yeah.
And singles are more for just, the listeners and people who are curious to, see what you're doing. So.
Totally. So, and we're going to play at the end of this podcast, we're going to play the single.
Yeah.
And this is just like recently out, like last week, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's on Spotify and iTunes.
Mm-hmm. iTunes, Apple Music, SoundCloud. Mm-hmm. And we did a music video, so that'll be out in about a week.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Video is something I have no experience with. I don't know the first thing about making a video.
I didn't think that I did, and then coming up with a concept was so much fun.
Really?
And I didn't, I got together with the director and, another director that I know. We were kind of coming up with an idea, and I just listened to the song a bunch of times and finally came up with this concept, and it ended up coming out really well. You never know with the video or a movie or anything you go, is this going to look out? But it really came out really great, and I'm very excited to share it with everybody. But it was a lot of fun.
Cool. And where are you? Where can we find you on the internet?
So you can find me. It's Spencer. You can find me on my Instagram, which is Spencer Music. Music spelled with a K. Okay. Also my Facebook as well. And then that my single "Used by 12817." It's out on Spotify, iCloud, iTunes, Apple. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's do a cover that we have performed in the past. One of our favorites that we used to do, Neil Young's song "Harvest Moon."
Okay.
What do you say?
Yep, let's do it.
All right.
Hear what I I'm still in love with you on this harvest moon.
Yay.
Woo! I love playing that song with you.
Sounds great, Spencer.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, where do you finding for your inspiration for writing nowadays?
You know, I definitely love writing songs from experience. I feel like that's when I write a song. That's when a song is super easy. When I write it in 5 minutes. You know, lately I feel like reading a lot and really being observant to what's relevant right now in society and in human nature and everything is really inspirational for me in writing. I'll watch a TV show sometimes. I'll write a song. Like, I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan.
Same.
And right, just certain. You know, there's so much great inspiration out there. I felt like when I was younger, it used to only be from personal experience.
Yeah.
And now I've realized, I can write about anything.
I think that's a pretty normal thing, like a leap for songwriters to make. Is at first anybody starts writing and they want to write about what happened to them, and that's great, and you can only get so far doing that before you start writing the same songs.
Exactly.
And it's really cool to see when writers get to a point where they can create a story, maybe even characters and things that are happening that are totally fictional and you know, puts the listener in a place in time that is totally made up, essentially.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's being a real kind of, I feel like, storyteller.
Yeah, exactly.
When you can come from that place.
Exactly.
Yeah. This song, though, used by 12817, it's definitely from a personal experience, which is, I think it was super easy to write, and it was super easy, picking this song as my first single, which, by the way, you can also find my information and more about what's coming up, upcoming shows on our website, on my label's website, Eon Music. It's AEON Music with a K.
Cool.
So you can find me on there as well. But I think that choosing this as my first single was it's such a personal song, but I feel like it's so relatable that it was definitely necessary for this to be kind of my first one to come out. Yeah. Because I have a lot of playful and cool songs, just.
Well, yeah. And so I listened to it, and it's like, it's a departure from the like guitar driven string type of sound. You know what I mean? So how did you get to that kind of or who produced it? What was the story behind producing it?
So my producer's name is Patrick Avalon. He's incredible. And he heard me singing at an open mic 9 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And just always stuck with me.
Cool.
And so that's just in a nutshell our story. And, the recording process... it was it's funny because, some of the vocals that I did on this song, I was just riffing. I just had, the mic, and we were just playing around, and Patrick, who's, so supportive and always just loves it when I'm just completely authentic, was like, that's it.
Yeah.
That was the take. I'm like, no, I could do it better. He would not let me. And then I listened to it after a while, and I went, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
And he was very much supportive of what the song was about. And, we even came up kind of with a bridge for the song in the middle of the recording process. I think this needs a bridge. And he's such an incredibly talented musician himself, and pianist and arranger, that he was able to we could just come up with the bridge on the fly. And so
I like how it has like sections. It's got like the intro, the instrumentation is pretty light, and then like you sort of have like the beat one comes in, then I think it drops out again and comes back in with like a pretty cool drum groove.
Yeah.
I really like that. It's pretty cool.
Thank you. Yeah, the way that it builds, it was really fun. And, when I was younger and, when we were playing music together, my music was very kind of just folky and acoustic, and now it has this electronic sound. So, I love listening to Leggy Lee, who I remember recording at the Village when we worked there, and I fell in love with her, and, London Grammar and Alt J. So I really love electronic music and kind of marrying those kind of Nora Jonesy vocals that I always get, people always kind of mention that I sound like her, but kind of marrying the electronic sound.
Well, even Nora Jones's newer material is going in that direction.
Everyone kind of seems.
It's fun because it's great to have a background and a foundation with more acoustic music, because I think everybody starts there.
Yeah.
But then you kind of, using all the stuff that's available now, you can get some pretty cool, sonically cool sounding atmospheres and landscape. It really is fun to kind of experiment with that stuff, and it just creates a different picture for the listener. I know, I'm guilty of like spending way too much time in the acoustic world. So for me, it's been fun to sort of recently get into electric guitar and then like sampling some things and kind of pushing it a little bit in that direction.
Well, acoustic has always it's always my home. Even just playing that song with you just now, I went, oh gosh, I miss this.
It's always there, right?
It's just a very homey, lovely, just warm feeling.
It's organic.
It's organic.
Whereas the more electronic sounds are obviously not organic, and they're not supposed to sound organic. It's definitely, But cool. Well, thank you so much for being here, Spencer. It's great to see you.
Thank you for having me. So great to see you.
All the listeners, you can find Spencer on iTunes and Spotify, and look for her newest single, which is out right now. And we're going to play that for you now to round out the podcast. Thanks again, and keep listening. Spencer, thanks so much.
Thank you, Andy.
A hot stove, I keep putting my hand on. Yours is a slow burn. The first time around was a lesson I never learned. You pulled me back in. Is this a good